More victories this week. Marriage has started in Kansas, and a judge has overturned a marriage ban in South Carolina, but couples still can't get married there yet. The lawyer who got DOMA overturned is now taking on Mississippi's marriage ban, and a few states are taking a closer look at overturning marriage bans at the ballot or in the legislature, just in case the Supreme Court doesn't come through for us. For the American Foundation for Equal Rights, I'm Matt Baum, and welcome to Marriage News Watch for November 17th, 2014. As of this recording, we're up to 33 states with the freedom to marry. That's 63% of the U.S. population, and that number might increase in the time between me recording this video and uploading it, so we might actually be up to 34 or 35 now. So which states are left that don't have marriage? It's mostly the Plains, the Midwest, and the Southeast. We don't have marriage yet in the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Montana. In the Sixth Circuit, a court just upheld marriage bans in Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And down south, we're still waiting on Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and of course, Florida. But all of those states are moving quickly towards correcting that. And lately we've been gaining marriage in one or more states almost every single week. Last week marriage started in Kansas, and this week we'll probably get South Carolina. Both states face some complicated litigation that involved the U.S. Supreme Court, but all you really need to know is that some counties are accepting marriage licenses now in Kansas, and a stay that prevents marriage in South Carolina is set to expire this Thursday, the 20th. Officials in both states are still trying to stop the marriages, but at this point their chances are pretty slim. In Kansas, Attorney General Douglas Schmidt says that the ruling only applies to 2 counties, so some clerks are refusing to issue marriage licenses. Kansas Governor Sam Brownback, a Republican who was just re-elected this month, says that he'll drag out the litigation as long as he can. In South Carolina, Attorney General Alan Wilson will appeal the ruling to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, but Afer's Virginia case conclusively overturned marriage bans throughout the Fourth Circuit, so at this point Wilson's appeal is little more than a stalling tactic. Meanwhile, it's looking good for a ruling that's due to come any day now in Mississippi. Last week, Roberta Kaplan delivered oral arguments against the state's marriage ban. Kaplan also argued the case that resulted in the Federal Defense of Marriage Act being overturned last year, and last week she ran circles around the state's attorney in Mississippi. Once we get a ruling in Mississippi, it'll be appealed to the Sixth Circuit, where there are currently cases pending from Texas and Louisiana. Those are scheduled for oral argument in January, and from there, it's on to the U.S. Supreme Court. Texas is a particularly crucial state, as it has more lawsuits than any other right now. A new case filed last week brings the total to 10. Over in Montana, a Ninth Circuit judge has canceled oral arguments scheduled for this week, which probably means that he'll be ready to rule any day now. And last week, the ACLU announced that they'll file a federal case in Nebraska. Previously, the only marriage case in Nebraska was a divorce filing, which has been languishing in state court for over a year. So where is all this heading? At the end of the day, all of these cases depend on the U.S. Supreme Court, and there's no way to predict whether they'll take any case. And even if they do, there's no telling whether they'll issue a ruling that results in full national marriage equality. So just in case they don't, a few states are taking another look at overturning marriage bans through the legislature or at the ballot box. In Texas, Senators Jose Rodriguez and Juan Hinojosa have introduced a constitutional amendment to repeal the state's marriage ban, and Michigan United for Marriage is exploring a ballot measure for 2015. We've had a lot of victories in the last month, but those remaining states could still put up quite a fight. So there's still a lot more work to do. Subscribe here on YouTube to stay up to date on all these stories. For the American Foundation for Equal Rights, I'm Matt Baum. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.